Shalom again, and you know by now that shalom means hello and peace, and I hope that you are in peace today. Hopefully you know the Messiah of Israel who will be your perfect peace. I'm Rabbi Dr. Joseph Rosenfarb. I'm the Rabbi of Beth Messiah Synagogue here in Tidewater, Virginia. We're located at 7130 Granby Street here in Norfolk, and our phone number is 757-423-3440. You can also get us on the web, and we'd be glad to entertain your questions, put you on our mailing list, and those questions then will be answered in the future videos. Today's subject is the Sacred Name movement. Now, we're not going to go into the history of that movement. The Sacred Name assemblies really started in the 1930s as an offshoot of the Seventh-day Adventist movement. And they are very concerned about the name of God, the name of Yeshua, Jesus. There's something very special and spiritual to them about pronouncing the name correctly. And so they, instead of Yeshua, they will insist on Yahshua. Instead of Adonai, as we hear in Beth Messiah call the tetragram, the Yod-Heh Vav-Heh, they would insist on a Yah form of the name of God. And so I want to address that a little bit. The Yah form certainly appears in Scripture by itself. So we know that the Yod-Heh Vav-Heh was pronounced with an A vowel, Yah. And then the two possibilities for ending it would be Yaveh or Yaveh. And there are variations of that, but in no case could it be pronounced Jehova. In Jewish tradition, the Yod-Heh Vav-Heh was considered too sacred to be pronounced, and so Adonai was substituted for it. And in Scripture, when you see the little tetragram there, it's with the Adonai vowels under the Hebrew letters, or next to the Hebrew letters. And so I just wanted to speak a little bit about this name. We feel that, of course, it's a silly thing to worry about the pronunciation of God's name. We don't use Jehova, one, because it's too sacred in our tradition, but really because the O vowel is not a possibility. So Jehova is really not an issue for us. Somebody wants to say Yahweh, Yaveh, fine and dandy. But to go further to pronounce Yeshua's name, and that's the proper way to pronounce it, not Yeshua. Yeshua came about actually as a corruption of Yeshua, and Yeshua is from a little Hebrew acronym Yeshu, which means may his name be blotted out. So that really is concocted. Many Israelis think, in fact, that that's his name, but it's Yeshua is the proper way to pronounce Jesus' name in Hebrew. And Yahshua doesn't work. It's good for the sacred name people, but it does not befit Hebrew grammar. And so we decide really not to use that kind of terminology. It's incorrect. Jesus came about from the Greek, Jesus, and Jesus is not exactly a direct relation to Yeshua. And some even feel that at some point in history, Jesus was developed because it sounded like Zeus and might have been more palpable to the Greco-Roman palate and philosophy to parallel Yeshua with Zeus and in his divinity. I personally think that was a bad choice and the wrong way to go. Of course, from Jesus we get Jesus. And it's better, my suggestion is to use Yeshua, because that's replete throughout the Scriptures. It means deliverance. It means salvation. And we can find it in salvation of the walls of Jerusalem, what we call salvation, Yeshua. Behold, God is my Yeshua. Over and over and over, the Messiah will bring Yeshua, will bring deliverance. And so Yeshua is a wonderful name. It's a biblical name. It's the name that Yeshua was given on the 8th day and at the circumcision experience. And we feel that it more accurately depicts who we're trying to talk about. So I'm going to encourage you to use the name Yeshua. You're probably used to Jesus. That's fine and dandy. But Yeshua really is related exactly to the Hebrew text, to the text. You find hundreds of illustrations of that name throughout Scripture. And after all, that is the plan of God. Yeshua, redemption for the Jewish people and redemption for the world. Hope to see you next time.